What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and there's something bizarre going on in the video games industry this week. Our first video from today covered the bizarre battle between Apex Legends developers and their own community. You're going to want to make sure you check out that video. And in this video, we're going to talk about the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 team, treyarch, which is supposedly working on the next Call of Duty game due out next year, and there appears to be all sorts of unrest there. If you remember, there was a bizarre rumor earlier this year around Jason Blundell. Activision, so much so, there was so much heat behind this rumor that Activision had to issue a report directly to deny that Blundell had left. Their statement at the time read, "While we typically don't comment on rumor as a personal matter, we feel it's important to address. Jason has not been fired, and in fact, he continues to direct the Zombies experience for Black Ops 4. In addition, Jason, along with a handful of other developers, are working with Activision to develop new creative opportunities." Activision says that the statement from Blundell is the statement that Blundell is working on Activision with a quote handful of developers as well as new creative opportunities at the publishing company. The company did not elaborate on what his exact role at treyarch is. So he may have been moved around or may have not. It's hard to say. But now we have an even more bizarre situation. This originally reported by charlieintel.com and then picked up by a lot of other outlets. Report, Vonderhaar says that he was asked to, quote, disconnect from Call of Duty. In a wild turn of events, David Vonderhaar said on Twitter late last night that he was asked to disconnect himself from the Call of Duty world on the day-to-day basis. And here is the tweet, which he has since deleted. I was asked by someone I respect to disconnect my day-to-day with Call of Duty world I was part of. I respect that. It makes sense. Now, that to me reads like maybe a friend of his was like, "Oh, Call of Duty game's bad. You don't want to associate with them." It doesn't necessarily read like he was terminated. He goes on to say, though, it makes sense. "Before I go, good luck to all the Call of Duty World League esports heroes." He then goes on to say, "Let's be clear about something." And he adds some Call of Duty people and many more. "None of this exists without those pioneers beating up my inbox. Whatever story you heard is probably true, but not the truth." What? Good stuff, guys. Be proud right now. It's a straight up honor to know you all. He says that he was asked by someone he respects and that he respects being told that. Vaughn also states that he respects being asked to do that, wanting to say good luck. Vaughn has followed up with even more information, looking back at the memories from the past. Goes on to say, "We have come a long way. I can't help myself in this exact second. I just don't care what it cost anymore. We did a thing together. It stunk. It was awesome. Pat yourself on the back." This is talking about the ESPN comments. Now, it's interesting, though, if you look at some of the other comments here from Vaughn's Twitter itself, it is crazy. When you look him up on Twitter, it's a bizarre statement of, he's got kind of like these emo tweets where he's essentially addressing the fact that he was fired. I looked around for a couple of videos. There were some videos on whether or not he was fired or if he had chose to leave the company. But here's a comment that he responds to. "It's about time he left. Treyarch hasn't made a good game since Black Ops 2, and both Black Ops 3 and 4 were poorly designed on 3-year cycles. Infinity Ward have totally embarrassed themselves this year with Modern Warfare." I disagree. Modern Warfare looks pretty good. "And next year we have Black Ops 5 to look forward to, which will probably be the same recycled rubbish that we've had for years. Vaughn did a great job a decade ago, but he and Treyarch cannot cope with the demands of the industry today and are flat out of ideas." To that reply is, "Vaughn is a legend, but something had to happen. It's kind of like how a sports team fires their coach, even though it's not really his fault, and the team is performing poorly. Black Ops 4 is a freaking disaster, so you know that some sort of shakeup was imminent." To which Vaughn replies, "Thanks. The last time I had any authority over what we made was Black Ops 2 and Blackout. I'm still your best friend and exist only because you let me know this." But then you read some of these other weird tweets. He goes on with a Orange Man Bad tweet here randomly. You know, so I guess I don't care. He even says, I'm a capitalist well before I'm a socialist, but never before have I been so mad with our current climate. And what? This sounds like the words of somebody who has too much money in their bank account and not enough sense. I don't understand, you know, and he said that I would deliberately choose to ruin my career saying as much. It seems like, is there some sort of like political divide going on? It seems weird. Again, he says, I've never been so mad with the current situation that I would deliberately choose to ruin my career saying as much. So it's like he wants to be, does he want to be an activist or something like that? I don't follow this guy on Twitter until today. The last tweet he left out last night was starve the ego, feed the soul. Good night and thanks for all the fish. But most of his other tweets aren't necessarily Orange Man Bad type tweets. And that's generally a good thing. But then if you see, you know, I'm not saying he's never done that, but if you kind of go through his feed, and generally these people that are obsessed, their feeds are full of it. But we're just talking about like regular stuff here. And then all of a sudden a random Orange Man Bad. It's like he got a new girlfriend or a boyfriend and they're like telling him that he needs to be more active or something. He says here, I finally broke my rule about expressing my political point of view. I did that. Trump is this. I'm a privileged West Coast liberal elite white boy. Find the unfollow button. I don't care. So it seems like, here's what I'm thinking might have happened. Here's a theory. There may be like an existing rule within this game development company at Activision, as we've seen with the new Modern Warfare game, how they're talking about, hey, we're not making any statements here, we're not doing this. And then all of a sudden the day after he tweets, he just goes full on politics inside of his Twitter feed to his 1.2 million followers, telling people to unfollow, just going full on Orange Man Bad. And this is bizarre. This is a bizarre like trend. It's like you see, it's like this line of thinking is a disease and he's clearly caught it now. And if you look at how the media is covering it, you know, Treyarch isn't exactly in a great shape right now. You know, next year, Call of Duty Black Ops 5. Sources tell Kotaku that it will be developed by a trio of studios instead of just one. Treyarch set to handle multiplayer areas. Sledgehammer Games and Raven will craft the campaign mode. You know, so it's you know, they aren't doing well. And bizarrely enough, it's hard to understand exactly what's going through their mind. And, you know, this is still, if we look back, Call of Duty is still an annual franchise. Activision says this is from about a week ago. Every year, gamers can expect the same things: FIFA, NBA 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, and a few others. That won't change anytime soon. Despite the high cost of rolling out sprawling FPS game every year, Activision shows no signs of slowing down Call of Duty's annual release cadence. In fact, they're doubling down on key franchises like Call of Duty, accelerating development tools, worker headcount, and robust live service roadmaps. Activision knows Call of Duty is a cash crop and is planting plenty of seeds. In recent fiscal year 2019 earnings call, Activision strongly hinted that Call of Duty won't slow down after new Modern Warfare reboot. We shouldn't see any Call of Duty take off this year, take a year off, or skip 2020. Black Ops 5 set for 2020. Despite its heavy investment into live services, Activision isn't ready for Modern Warfare 2 to last 2 years, or releasing a new game is more sales revenue outright, gives the publisher an opportunity to sell a gateway to even more monetized engagement-driven multiplayer. Quote, we do still see new launches as a critical part of our future. See, the thing is, Call of Duty could probably go 2 or 3 years as long as you are doing small upgrades and continually improving it, but they need that $60 to $90 per person title plus season passes to renew every year, rather than just improving the game and adding more maps. In my experience, when I play Call of Duty, I'm far more likely to kind of get sick of the maps than I am necessarily about the gameplay. You know, I want to see more. I want to see more improvements in the game as opposed to necessarily, you know, I need more maps. I need a different. I don't need a whole new campaign altogether, I should say. What I want is more maps and more interesting gameplay. And if you look at the way some of these news outlets are covering this, it's interesting. The word disconnect. Black Ops 4 design director says he's been asked to disconnect from Call of Duty. It looks like David Vonderhaar, design studio Treyarch, could be stepping down from his Call of Duty series. In a series of now deleted tweets on his Twitter account overnight, he seems to indicate that his time with the series could be done, at least for the time being. And his other tweets reportedly read, "We've seen this. It's not clear from these posts who reportedly asked him to, quote, disconnect from the Call of Duty world he participates in, or whether it's confirmed that he will be stepping down from the series or Treyarch. We reached out to Activision for comment, and we'll update the story with any new information." Now, as I record this, I'm going to hold this video to a little bit later this afternoon because it seems like Activision generally doesn't comment on things till the end of the day. Whether or not he's stepping down, the situation at Treyarch remains unchanged. The general malaise with the Black Ops series remains unchanged. And while he definitely has plenty of fans, this new Twitter meltdown is questionable at best. I'll be interested to see what you think in the comment section down below. I believe that this could probably be a good thing for the studio. Maybe Treyarch needs to just step away from the Call of Duty world altogether and develop their own stuff. It's hard to say. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.